Good afternoon. I would like to welcome you to the July 13, 2022 meeting of the House of Representatives Commission of Montgomery County. Welcome everyone here. Start the meeting by introducing my fellow commissioners who are also present. To my immediate left is our Vice Chair, Fran Kelleher. To my immediate right is our Chair for Tim Watson. To his right is Debbie Simon, and to her right is Jeff Beckowitz. Right in the other direction, my left is the Queen, and also Pamela Bird. So all of the commissioners are present today, so thank all of you all for being present. And so we will proceed with the agenda. If there are any changes to the agenda, then we can move before we go. If not, we'll move forward. The first item is a consent item, which involves the approval of the 2022 Training Estate Memorial Scholarship Award winners. Who's going to be doing that? Am I going to? That can be done by Commissioner Simon. Commissioner Simon has been doing this tour now for over 100 years. But she is very, so she's the legacy of NASA. Will the scholarship award winners.
Thank you. Good afternoon and welcome to the Tony Davis Memorial Scholarship Award Ceremony. The Housing Opportunities Commission in Montgomery County established the Memorial Award 20 years ago in memory and honor of Tony Davis, a former HOC employee who devoted his life to volunteering, coaching, and counseling in the Seneca Ridge community. Was tragically killed in 2000. His memory lives on through the lives of the young people in our communities who aspire to advance themselves through higher education. Over the last 20 years, HOC has supported over 50 college-bound students from HOC communities with the Tony S. Davis Memorial Scholarships to help launch their college careers. This year, we'll be awarding 6 scholarships to deserving students who have excelled academically, faced personal challenges, helped to support their families, and simply persevered against many odds during the pandemic years while giving back to their communities. And now it's time for me to announce the winners.
So you do that, Mr. Simon. I would like to go back and have the commission adopt resolution 22-55.
That would be
There's actually acknowledges the award to one who announced.
Yes.
So if I could do a motion to, by consent, to approve resolution 22-55, I get a motion?
I move. I second.
The phone moved seconded to approve resolution 22-55. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. You can proceed.
Thank you. Almost got the cart before the horse. Our first award goes to Missouri Nelson, a senior at Northwest High School. She carries a 4.4 weighted GPA average and has excelled in the curriculum of challenging subjects such as advanced placement calculus, AB, honors physics, English, and biology. She aspires to become a physical therapist too, and credits her older brother, whom she lost tragically during her junior year of distance learning, for inspiring her to pursue this career, as well as her drive to help other families. Missouri is a hardworking student who understands that she is responsible for her own education, as her career technology education teacher wrote. She strives to be successful in everything she does and accomplishes these things through hard work and persistence. While maintaining good grades throughout high school, Missouri worked as a Chick-fil-A associate, summer camp counselor. She also volunteers as a math tutor for individuals in small groups. Missouri is a member of the National Society of Hospital Scholars, of which she received the presidency grade twice in her academic career. Zori, as she is affectionately known by her advanced placement calculus teacher, is a natural leader. She's been accepted to Towson University and will be attending this fall. And now, Missouri is about to receive a $5,000 scholarship. Missouri, would you like to make a few remarks?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi. Congratulations.
Hi, how are you today?
Great.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. As previously said, my name is Nazoria Nelson, and I'll be studying kinesiology in the fall at Towson University with the goal of becoming a physical therapist. I want to express my gratitude to the Commission for providing me with this chance to pursue my education stress-free. The cost of education has always been a worry of mine, but thanks to the Tony S. Davis Scholarship, my family and I can now rest easier. I want to thank the Commission again for the scholarship, for which I am incredibly thankful. Thank you all.
You're welcome. Our next scholarship award of $5,000 goes to Jean Levicki. Jean is an ambitious 2022 graduate of Clarksburg High School with a weighted GPA of 4.26. She dreams of creating avenues and vehicles of opportunity for young girls of color to pursue careers as playwrights and screenwriters. Jean is an incredibly gifted and hardworking student, as described by the director of choirs at Clarksburg High School. Jean is described as a well-rounded, passionate musician with meticulous attention to detail, nuance, and artistry. Her honors and awards include first place vocalist awards for the Montgomery and Prince George's County's Got Talent, Maryland Thespian Acting, and Maryland Thespian Vocal Awards, Young Arts Finals in 2022 for Top Voice and admission to the National Thespian Honor Society. She has been accepted to the Bachelor of Fine Arts program at Juilliard and will be attending this fall. And now, Jean, congratulations to you. Would you like to make a response?
Hello, everyone. Hi, my name is Jean Levica. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity, this wonderful scholarship. My first year of college is now completely I don't have to worry about it because of this. So I thank the whole entire HOC committee, and I especially want to thank Miss Erica because she informed me about this, and I wouldn't have the opportunity to go to the school of my dreams and pursue my passion. And so I thank Erica and the whole entire HOC Board of Commissioners. You are all wonderful people, and God bless you all. So thank you.
Thank you. Our next scholarship is a $2,000 award that goes to Samuel Ebovisi. Samuel is a recent graduate of Watkins Mill High, and he is an active volunteer at his church and participates in the choir. His other volunteer activity includes outreach to the homeless and community service at St. Jude Hospital. Samuel participated in the school marching band, track, field, soccer, basketball, and swimming, a man of many talents. His family immigrated to the United States from Cameroon, at which time he embraced the role of helping to take care of younger siblings and helping to support the family by working at a retail store. Like many other students, distance learning was very difficult during his junior year. However, Samuel showed great resolve by improving his grades, returning to strong academic form. He has set his goals high. He plans to major in biology at Stevenson University in the fall and apply for medical school thereafter. Congratulations, Samuel. Would you care to make some comment, a response? Samuel? Um,
He may be having some difficulties with his audio.
okay. Looks like we'll need to move on. Congratulations again, Samuel. The next Tony Davis Inspiration Scholarship of $1,000 goes to Antoine Morse. Antoine is a 22 graduate of Hubert Lake High School. He's a frequent volunteer at the Frederick Rescue Mission and enjoys playing football and creative writing. He has composed works of short fiction and poetry, and he credits his tough mother for his educational success and for teaching him life lessons. Antoine's been accepted to Marietta College in Marietta, Ohio, and will attend this fall. Antoine, we congratulate you and look forward to hearing from you.
I don't believe he was able to attend.
I see. All right. We'll go on to our next. We'll go on to
He might have just logged on. I think he might have just logged on. Antoine, are you with us?
Are you there, Antoine?
No, this is Samuel. I logged in
Okay.
from another device.
Oh, okay.
We'll move on. I'm sorry. Oh, Samuel, how about you telling what this scholarship means to you?
Yes, I'm sorry. I had some technical difficulties with my audio.
No problem.
I'm happy and proud to be one of the chosen recipients of the Tony S. Davis Scholarship, and I'm really generous for these financial support towards higher education. And these will greatly help me with my other scholarships. Now I don't have to pay anything for school. And I am going to major in biology and with an emphasis in genetics, and I plan on pursuing a career as a physician specializing either in neurosurgery or cardiology. This scholarship will greatly help me and many others in our pursuit of higher education in order to achieve greatness. So I'm really thankful for your financial generosity.
You've done a group of dedicated predecessors, and we are happy to be able to make these awards. Our next Tony Davis Inspiration Award of $1,000 goes to Caleb McBride. Caleb is a graduate of Northwest High School with an average of 4.0, sorry. Caleb says his mother has always pushed him to be the best student he can be and always provided the resources for him to do great things in school and life. He'll be attending Coastal Carolina University this fall. Caleb, are you with us and can you respond? We're excited for you.
Yes, ma'am, I'm here. Good afternoon. First and foremost, I would like to thank the HOC Commission and Scholarship Committee for your time during this special occasion. I would also like to thank my mother for pushing me to be successful and steadfast during my academic years. I'm excited about the next chapter of my life, and I look forward to what's to come. And again, thank you so much for this opportunity.
You're very welcome. We're very excited for you. Our final award winner of $1,000 goes to Alexander Sarmiento. Alex is a 22 graduate of Sherwood High School with a GPA of 4.34, and he credits his mother for his development and academic success. In middle school, Alex's mother enrolled him in a Big Brothers program, which provided a male mentor for him and proved to be instrumental in his life. Alex has experienced significant loss during the pandemic years, including the passing of his mentor. However, He persevered through the tragedy and excelled in his senior high school year. Alex will be attending the University of Maryland this fall. Alex, we congratulate you and wish you well. Do you have a response you'd like to make?
Hi, yeah, can you guys see me?
Yes.
All right. Oh yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. I'm sorry, I just had to leave work, but I'm just very thankful, and this actually takes off a lot of stress. So I know that like with determination, I was able to get here. Thank y'all so much. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really gotta say. But thank you.
You've gotten this far, Alex. You will make it the rest of the way. We're proud of you.
I'm just very thankful, and this actually takes off a lot of stress. So I know that like with determination, I was able to get here. Thank you so much. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really gotta say. But thank you.
Those are our scholars this year.
Since I've been prompted to do so, I would say to all of our committees, when we get to speak, take your mask down. And maybe that will improve receptivity on the part of those who are listening on YouTube. So thank you all very much. And thank you, Jackie, for, again, administering the award of these scholarships. I would also
beside Tony, so I am honored to do it.
I would also encourage our listeners and others to pay attention to our upcoming gala that is going to be sponsored by HOC. There's one way that we drive resources to allow us to fund these scholarships. And so I would hope that we can get overwhelming support. And next year, maybe we can award 60 scholarships. Because there certainly are more deserving young people than we are able to support right now. And so we want to do that. So again, thank you very much for this effort. We will now move to the next part of the agenda, which is the community forum. I think we have one person who is signed to be a speaker. Is that going to be Mrs. Bridgeforth? Who's going to be the speaker? Is that going to be Mrs. Bridgeforth?
Yes.
Yes, she has been waiting in the Zoom room to be admitted. Would it be possible to admit her, please?
She said they kick her out of the
Hello?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, yes, good.
Hi. Can you all hear me?
Yes,
Yes, I
Okay. Okay, I just want to let you know, we have Crystal Lindo Bridgeforth. She's our first caller in today's community forum. I'd like to let you know you have 3 minutes to speak today. And please mute any background devices you may have. And your time starts now.
Good afternoon, the members of the Housing Opportunities Commission, board and staff. My name is Crystal Lindo Bridgeforth. I am the co-chair of Safe Places, our tenants association at Cider Mill Apartments. I have lived at Cider Mill Apartments for 16 years. My purpose for addressing the forum today is to express to you that we, the residents of Cider Mill Apartments, take seriously your commitment to provide safe housing with dignity for all the residents. And we think to achieve that, it requires partnership, transparency, and communication. I appreciate the phone call that I did receive from Ms. Bonnie Hodge on Tuesday, with the updates on the many urgent issues that we're facing at Cider Mill. And I would like to still take this time to raise our questions so that the residents and the members of the association who are watching today or listening can hear directly from you. There are many critical urgent maintenance issues that we, the residents, are still dealing with. The most urgent one has been the roof. The roof is the root cause of the many other issues, maintenance issues in the apartments. And with that being said, it's partially leading to the maintenance backlog. If we could get the roof fixed, we will be taking a step forward. So with that being said, I would like to request today in this open forum an update on the roofs and the security cameras at Cider Mill Apartments as a follow-up to our last meeting. But first, I would like to welcome Ms. Chelsea Andrews as the new executive of the Housing Opportunities Commission. Second, I would like to thank Board President Roy Priest and Board Member Jackie Simon, as well as Ms. Corrine Brown and her team for coming out to Cider Mill last month to meet with the residents of Cider Mill Apartments. Regarding the security cameras, we asked at our June meeting about the installation of the security cameras. Last year, we were told that the security cameras would be installed in the apartment complex. That has not yet happened. We are aware that the county is now subsidizing the purchase of the security cameras through Bill 1422, and that would establish private security camera incentive program. We would like to know if this is something that Cider Mill can be included in. We're a very large complex, and this is an urgent matter to us. If you can please share an update for the rollout plan for installing the security cameras at Cider Mill. I do thank you for your time this afternoon, and I look forward to working in partnership with HOC. Thank you.
Ms. Bigfoot, I want to thank you for coming and joining with us today. It certainly was a pleasure for myself and Commissioner Simon to have been able to join you all on January 16th at the property and to see so many amazing young children who are on their way to school. That was a really good experience. I want to show you that the work on the flat roof will start on July the 18th, 2022. So those flat roofs will begin under repair on July the 18th. Today is July 13th, so in 5 days, there should be someone on a roof making some repairs. And if they are not there on the 18th, I'll be there on the 19th. So we will assure you that the work will get done. Secondly, on the matter of deal with the cameras, we do have a solicitation out to get bids right now to put the cameras in place. And I would expect that once we get those bids in, we have reviewed them and made an award to a contractor, that we should expect that within the next 30 days, that we should be in a position to when you start seeing some results on the installation of those cameras. So that is happening. We also are working to begin work on the massive roofs as well. And so that work will be done. Again, will be soliciting contractors to do that work, and it will start soon after we have completed the work on the flat roofs. So we are making progress on the items that you all have identified, and I can assure you that a member of our staff will continue to meet with you all on a regular monthly basis to keep you all apprised of the status of the work being done. And certainly I am quite comfortable that you all know how to get in contact with us. And so that if anything happens that you need to touch base with us, you know the right persons to call. And so I want to thank you. I also want to acknowledge the work that was done by our ombudsman, Bonnie Hodges, in terms of trying to keep you all apprised of what we are trying to do. So thank you all very much. And I look forward to joining you all soon for another occasion at Cider Mill. So thank you. Our next item on our agenda is remarks from our newly appointed executive director. This is really an occasion for us to celebrate, especially for the commissioners, that we don't have to meet every week. I know that we appreciate being at the end of that process, but I want to really acknowledge the fact that we have today for our first occasion starting under the leadership of a new executive director, Chelsea Andrews, and I want to welcome you and open the floor for you for any comments.
Thank you. Greetings, Commissioner Priest. Thank you. Greetings, Chairman Priest, Madam Vice Chair Kelly-Hur, Chair Pro Tem Nelson, and Commissioners Byrd, Kroom, Markowitz, HOC staff, and members of the public. For the record, I am Chelsea Andrews, your newly appointed Executive Director of the Housing Opportunities Commission. I recognize and give respect to the 5 executive directors that came before me and paved the path. I'm honored to have the privilege and the opportunity to lead the agency at such a pivotal time where affordable housing is critical and is being acknowledged as an invaluable resource that our county needs now and in the future. As we as staff have already started to remind ourselves of our why for the work that we do, I'd like to take the liberty at my first meeting to reflect on the record for the public, our mission and our purpose. The mission of the Housing Opportunities Commission is to provide affordable housing and supportive services that enhance the lives of low and moderate income families and individuals throughout Montgomery County, Maryland, so that no one in Montgomery County is living in substandard housing. 2, that we strengthen families and communities as good neighbors. We establish an efficient and productive environment that fosters trust, open communication, and mutual respect. And we work with advocates and providers to maintain support for all of the work of the Commission. To achieve this mission, the HOC operates as an affordable housing agency, a housing finance agency, and a housing developer. You will see our mission reflected in the information provided today and in all of the work that we do. As we rededicate ourselves to our ongoing mission with each and every action we take, I look forward to working with the commissioners and our talented and dedicated staff to advance our cause and to expand our reach by maintaining and creating state-of-the-art affordable housing, deploying financing tools and resources throughout the county, and uplifting and enriching the lives of those we serve. I want to thank each of you for affording me this opportunity and to publicly acknowledge and thank Madam Deputy Director Kayreen Brown for leading our agency through this transition, as well as her warm welcome and support of my onboarding. Madam Brown will assist by providing the executive report today and serve on my behalf as a resource to the Commission in today's meeting. I thank you and look forward to working with each of you.
Thank you very much, and we're very ready. And I think I want to assure you that the Commission and all of our individual commissioners will be available to assist in any way that we can to make sure that this journey that you're getting ready to take with the agency is one that is fruitful, rewarding, and has the kind of outcomes that both we and you and the staff and our residents deserve and want. So we want to thank you very much for your willingness to take on this awesome responsibility of running HOC. So thank you all, thank you very much. And also, at this point in time, I will turn over the next part to Kayreen Brown, who is the Deputy Director of the agency. Some of you all who have been paying attention and know that she has been our acting Executive Director for the past 11 months. And we want to, last month, I think we gave you accolades and thank you and applause for the work that you have done. So we won't repeat that, but simply know that we appreciate what you've done, and you can finish out your having to report to us now at this meeting. So I turn the agenda over to you.
I will not think Kayreen seems less excited.
Good afternoon, commissioners, staff, and the public. For the record, I'm Kayreen Brown, and today I'm the Deputy Executive Director, and this is my report for July 13th. I'm going to try to be brief, but I do have quite a bit to say today. First, I'd like to reflect on the event of Juneteenth, which is the Heritage Emery Grove event, which was held at the Emery Grove United Methodist Church to formally announce the historic Emery Grove redevelopment project. The event included a formal program featuring remarks from Montgomery County elected officials and partner organizations, church leadership, and legacy Emery Grove community members. Heritage Emery Grove, originally settled by free African Americans in 1864, is a unique historical redevelopment project that will occur on 40 acres of land owned by HOC, Emery Grove United Methodist Church that upon build out will provide a renewed sense of community. The mixed-use development project will be stewarded by HOC in collaboration with the church, Montgomery County, Habitat for Humanity, and other community and private sector partners. With Emery Grove United Methodist Church serving as a key community partner, Heritage Emery Grove will bring affordable housing and additional amenities on more than 30 acres of land, which reside just north of Mid-County Highway at the intersection of Washington Grove Lane and Emery Grove Road. The central component of the redevelopment will pay tribute to the past by encouraging community connectedness and interdependency, which were among the hallmarks of the original Emery Grove community. Heritage Emery Grove will achieve this by recreating walking paths, providing space for community gardening, and engaging residents through youth sports programming, recreational activities, and intentional community building. The event on Juneteenth was well attended by nearly 100 people, including members of Emery Grove United Methodist Church, area community members, Chairman Priest, Vice Chair Callagher, Commissioner Simon, Executive Director Andrews, the county executive, council members Friedson, Katz, Reamer, County Regional Service Director Wims, Delegate Crutchfield, and several HOC staff. It was quite an event and the weather was beautiful. So thank you for delivering that.
The food was good.
And continuing with some real estate related activity, the nation's largest community solar farm at the Oaks landfill in Laytonsville began construction earlier this year. The project will be 100% dedicated to low and moderate income residents. Through the subscription program for this new project, Montgomery County residents who are on PEPCO utility who qualify as low and moderate households are eligible to receive 25% savings on their electricity costs every month. HOC is in the process of subscribing more than 900 of its units in eight properties for these discounts. Project partners include Amoresco Inc., a leading clean tech integrator specializing in energy efficiency and renewable energy, and Neighborhood Sun, a Maryland-based community solar company, making solar accessible to everyone in partnership with Montgomery County. The solar array is placed on the capped Oaks landfill in Gaithersburg, transforming underutilized land into environmental asset that brings local jobs and clean renewable energy to the community. The project, a total of 6 megawatts, is divided into 3 2-megawatt arrays and will generate approximately 11.7 million kilowatt hours annually. Array 1 is for use by the county and under a power purchase agreement, providing county government clean renewable energy at no upfront cost. Arrays 2 and 3, each with 2 megawatt, will be the community solar project with 100% of the generated electricity provided to low and moderate income residents. HOC's properties are Cola Towers, Waverly House, Diamond Square, Bauer Park, Manchester Manor, and Westwood Tower. All these developments are master metered and therefore are expected to realize the 25% savings that I spoke of earlier. And also along the lines of real estate projects, you may recall that in December of 2021, the Commission financed several projects by issuing about $111 million in tax-exempt bonds for 286 units of age-restricted units and 291 units of family units. They're currently under renovation, and in your brief book, I just wanted to highlight for you very briefly that there are some photos showing you curbless showers. I thought it was important that we pointed that out because there was much debate and discussion around the particular feature in our renovations. And as staff, we're actually proud that we're able to deliver that for the commission. So thank you for pushing us on that. Moving on to the Housing Resource Division, we've finally hit our 95% or steady 95% utilization in the voucher program. So congratulations to Lynn Hayes and her team. They've been working really, really hard to get to this point. And not only have we hit this 95% mark, but as you will see from your report, there's quite a bit of activity happening still in the voucher program with 320 families who've been issued vouchers and are searching, and 128 contracts that are pending. And we continue to call up new applicants because, as you know, there's attrition ongoing, and not all the folks that we've issued vouchers to will all lease up at the same time. So it happens over time. And so it's an ongoing effort to ensure that we maintain the maximum amount of utilization while staying within the number of our baseline numbers as well as our funding. So we continue to work hard to ensure that we're serving the most number of applicants that we can. And at the same time, we're working to offer extensions to our customers who are having a hard time finding units. The rental market is becoming more and more challenging. And the director and her team, they're looking at folks who are requesting extensions and ensuring that they're not being discriminated against in the marketplace. And as you will see from your report, of the 10 requests for extensions, they've referred 3 to the Human Rights Commission for possible discrimination. So we're working on all fronts to ensure that people are able to be housed. Just very quickly moving through to the resident services area. As you know, the resident services group is very active. As you know, we continue to provide referrals and engage with our customers to ensure that their needs are met. In the month of June, the Resident Services Division Coordination Unit continued its effort to serve our customers and engage with them, referring them to services and for food and for other assistance. As usual, some of the highlights include work that they've been doing at Cider Mill with the outreach, street outreach network, sorry about that, as they plan and coordinate on summer events. The Resident Services Group also have conducted workshops, and they've worked not just on providing food and services, but also on activities that promote customer well-being. They've also helped with relocation because, as you know, with the renovations that are ongoing, households and families need help with not just with just moving, packing, moving, certification, and things like that. So the Resident Services team have participated with property management, with the real estate group to assist those customers on matters like that. And they also help with emergency rental assistance and helping folks to apply for aid where they're facing delinquencies and arrearages on their rents. So not only are they referring folks who need the basics, but they're also trying to help people remain housed and other supports that are needed. And on resident services programming, the division continues to provide food resources and other supports through the help of their partners. I've mentioned before, they continue to work with Manor Food Center, Emmanuel Brinklow, who's a steady partner, Emmanuel Brinklow, Seventh-day Adventist Church, who's a steady partner with the Resident Services Division, Montgomery County Senior Nutrition Lunch Program, My Groceries to Go, and in the past month, they've served about 300 customers. They also continue to facilitate the Senior Nutrition Program, which provide meals and opportunities to socialize for seniors. Just moving right along, and I'll wrap this up very quickly so you don't hear me drone on and on and on. HOC Academy continues its work with youth. They also continue their work with adult education and in financial literacy. That's an ongoing and very important program out of resident services, because as you know, if our families are able to control their finances, they stand a better chance of getting housed remaining housed and realizing their fullest potential. So that is critical, not only for participants in our Housing Choice Voucher Program, but also those on the waiting list, because that helps them move ahead a little bit better. Of note in resident services is the Fatherhood Initiative. We've recently received an award for the third year of the grant, which begins in October of 2022. But it's important to also note that the grant year that we're in, we targeted serving 356 fathers, and currently we are at 331 served. Each cohort has about 35 to 40 fathers, and with about 2 more months to go, we expect that we will achieve our goal or exceed our goal. So we're pretty proud of that achievement. And as you know, the fatherhood program, HOC, is a stellar, or I would say we are the gold standard, if you will, for that program. And so we look forward to continuing and helping fathers become better fathers and serving the communities and their own children. And finally, the mortgage finance program, single family mortgage finance program, closed on the issuance of 31 million in tax exempt and taxable bonds in June. And this will enable that program to create new mortgages for about 132 new homeowners. And with that, I will take any questions if there are any, but I think overall, the HOC team is doing a terrific job in serving our customers, keeping our assets sound, and being good stewards for the commission. So thank you.
Are there any questions?
I have a comment. Yeah, just one, congratulations on meeting the 95% benchmark of voucher utilization. I also wanted to note that, and to thank the staff again for the outreach to the families that were scheduled for termination. Noting that 32 families that were scheduled for termination were able to be assisted for recertification. And that and last month's no doubt helped us reach that 95% threshold. So it both increases stability for families that were keeping cars, and helps us achieve our own goals for the utilization, right? So thank you.
I have 2 questions. One is, are scattered site families eligible to participate in the Oaks landfill project and apply? And if so, are we finding a way to communicate that to our tenants?
I think they are. I think anybody who has a PEPCO account can apply. So is that correct, Zach? I know that for us, they're looking at our master metered buildings, and I think that's where they get their biggest bang for their buck. But I think individuals can apply.
And could our people on Housing Path also be notified to register or apply? And that would be a significant difference in increasing their discretionary income.
So what we'd like to do is to definitely investigate and be sure what the particulars are. But do you want to answer that?
Yeah, I was going to say certainly inquire
And then I had just one other question on the suspected discrimination cases against voucher holders. I have another resource that I think would be very useful for referring our applicants to, and that is the Equal Rights Center. And I think they have more resources to aggressively advocate. And they also have the resource to threaten to litigate, which I think is provides more incentive for landlords to be more responsive than the county legislation permits. So I would encourage staff to offer that resource as well, because pro bono attorneys assist through the Washington Lawyers Committee for Urban and Civil Rights.
Okay, so noted. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Any other questions? Comments?
I would just like to congratulate the staff, the 118 special vouchers for people who were homeless, which came up just as the pandemic was full force and was a big challenge, I know, for both the county's Health and Human Services group as well as HOC, to see that all 118 vouchers have been matched to someone is really heartwarming, because that in fact does a lot towards getting people housed. And 2/3 of them, I understand, are already in housing, and the others are looking for housing with their vouchers. So kudos to staff under very difficult circumstances to work with a population that has a lot of challenges and rising to that occasion. I'm very proud of you. And I would like to congratulate you on making that accomplishment.
Thanks to Lynn and her staff. They've been terrific and working hard to achieve that.
Other comments? I would just note that I think we've done an excellent job of maintaining a fairly robust resident services program during the COVID. This is a time when many families needed even more access to services and kinds of support that we provide. And I know it's a challenge for the staff to have to go into sometimes convene these sessions in very difficult situations. But I want to just acknowledge the fact that we have continued to do that and continue to want to grow the kinds of things that we do. One area that I've always had a long-term interest in, has been this whole thing about urban gardens. I really think urban gardens are really strong programs that can bring a lot of secondary, tertiary benefits to communities. Takes a lot of organization, and of course takes some resources. But as we think about next summer, not this summer, that we can think about a way that we could ramp up and look at an overall community gardening program. It would, I think, would be really good that we could do that. And I have some experience even working with young youth gardeners, that we turned it not only to a gardening program, but into a nutrition and health program. And we found that it really, in fact, helped the young people as they were going to summer school or going to school, because a lot of young people, unbelievably or not, go to school without being fed. And performance is related to feeling good and feeling healthy. And so I think if we can think about that next year, I would love to be a part of having a role in thinking that out and planning how we could do that. So I want to thank the staff for what you do in that regard. Any other comments? If not, thank you very much for your report, and don't worry about the length. One thing we don't get enough of today in this community is good news.
Oh, then I
And so as much as good news we can get, because in all the reports I've heard you do, I've never heard bad news. So continue telling the story, because it's important that we tell our story to the public, and this is one way to do it. So thank you for that. With that, let me move the agenda to the Commissioner Exchange. Any Commissioner Exchange information? Mr. Keller?
I will just say one thing that is to staff, commissioners, and residents, and that is we are in the primary election cycle for our state, local, and congressional elected officials as a quasi-governmental agency who is heavily dependent on public funding and the support of members of the government. I would recommend you exercise your right to vote either tonight on the way home, with the polls are open till 8 p.m. at early voting sites, tomorrow at all the early voting sites, or next Tuesday at your regular precinct. And that is, I think, an important thing for us to do in addition to all the work we do for folks. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Also note that the NIRO is having their summer conference in August And the fall conference is going to be, I think, in San Diego, in December, September. And I would encourage the commissioners to take a look at it because they always have a pretty strong schedule of events geared toward commissioners at their national conference, more so than the summer conference, but the national conference, they'll be in San Diego. So please, and believe it, we are not far from September. All right. And so if you're interested in going, please let us know and so we can report that and get the arrangements made for how we can participate in that conference in September. So I want to encourage you to do that. I also want to acknowledge and put forth the initial work and save the dates for the gala, which is coming up in October. I don't remember the exact date. Kaylee, do you remember when it was?
13th, I believe.
The 14th?
13th.
13th of October?
Yes.
Again, I want to everybody pay attention to that because we want to get certainly full, not only attendance, but we want to encourage people to really sponsor and give to that event because it is a way that we raise capital that's used to assist veteran services programs and assist our veterans. So again, I encourage you to pay attention to that event. Yeah. Those are two things I want to just mention to you all. Anything else? If not, I will advance the agenda, which is the approval of the minutes for June the 8th, 2022. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Probably moved. Do I have a second?
Second.
Probably moved and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. So ordered. Thank you all. We will now move into our committee reports and recommendations for action. The first will be with our Administrative and Regulatory Committee as chaired by Commissioner Keller.
Thank you. The Administrative and Regulatory Committee met in May to talk about the bulk housing choice voucher program and some changes recommended to the administrative plan relative to that. We have heard support from the resident council, and we held a public hearing earlier today after a 30-day notification period. And I would invite the GEDI and the staff to discuss the changes that are being proposed.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. My name is Giddy Paul, Assistant Director of the Housing Administrative Division. Today, staff is proposing changes to 4 chapters of our administrative plan. As policies and procedures change and the demands for affordable housing increase, HOC reviews their administrative plan regularly to ensure that we are adequately serving our customers. These changes are in accordance with HUD's regulations and requirements and cover specific policies, including waitlist preferences, voucher extensions, and special housing. Chapter 4 of the administrative plan details the waitlist and the 6 adopted waitlist preferences. Staff proposes an amendment to the first preference to include forced displacement of families resulting from fire, flood, or natural disaster. Previously, this only included displacement of families from a state or a county redevelopment project or a change in the nature of a project that is part of the county plan for maintaining affordable housing. Chapter 7 details the verification process used to determine program eligibility, including verification of income. Staff proposed that self-employed individuals must certify that a minimum of 51% of their business is conducted within Montgomery County. In determining program eligibility, we find that it is important to provide clarity to staff and self-employed individuals to meet program requirements. Chapter 8 details voucher issuance process. Staff proposed that voucher extensions are granted to all customers who request an extension prior to the voucher expiration date. For a minimum search time of maximum search time of 180 days. The current policy is applicable to only disabled families for a maximum of 150 days. A complete search record with a minimum of 10 entries is necessary. A family may request a reasonable accommodation if additional search time is needed in excess of the 150 days. With continued efforts to house our customers, HOC recommends adding 30-day extension to the voucher, including all customers under the voucher program. This offers more search time and a greater opportunity for permanent housing. Chapter 28 details the Housing Choice Voucher Home Ownership Program. This program is limited to 25 participants. The administration of the HCV Home Ownership Program is a collaborative effort between the Housing Resource Division and Mortgage Finance Division. Annually, the area median income from Montgomery County is updated. This income is used to determine the minimum income requirement for participation in the home ownership program. The current requirement has increased from $24,000 to $40,000. These recommended changes will ultimately increase the opportunity for our residents of Montgomery County to find safe, affordable housing and reduce the risk of homelessness. At this time, we ask that the commissioners approve the recommended changes by HOC staff. We'll take any questions you have.
First of all, for the Deputy Simon,
On chapter 21 change, who established the limit, or why is there a limit of just 25 families moving into home ownership? And why is there a limit on the number of families with disabilities that can participate in it? It seems like it's arbitrary.
When we first established the home ownership program, it was a pilot program. I believe there was approval by HUD, but in the report that came over presented, there are a lot of changes to the SFF program that will be evaluating and presenting next month at the ARNC meeting and then at the September commission meeting. But that's certainly something that we can evaluate.
But that is left with the local jurisdiction can establish something different.
I don't know. I don't want to speak out of term, but I will definitely work. There are a lot of changes, substantive changes to the FSS program. So that's something that we can definitely explore.
Just for background, the discussion at the commission level at the time of the beginning of the program was commissioners were concerned that the did not want to see vouchers with an extensive number of voucher agreements. Of course, we've gotten a lot more vouchers since the program was started. I think all those things need taken into consideration. Different environment today as far as voucher agreements. While I've been for the names. Sorry. Yeah. On the chat as well, I was curious about the minimum requirement that so 4,000, which is 2/3 increase. So when was the last time we made a change? The reference in annual and my but I can't believe that 6%.
I don't believe that it did. I believe that this is a chapter of our administrative plan that just was overlooked and not updated. Right. There's a higher number of the new programs that allowed. Okay. So,
what's the percentage? That's good stuff.
The 40,000?
Yeah.
I don't know. AMI is about 110,000. So. Yeah, 129 for household for 25,000. Yeah, we are playing catch up and updating all of our chapters of the administrative plan and that's doing really good.
Okay. Commissioner Nelson. Question I have is related to chapter 8. One, increasing the number of days they could search by 30 and increasing evidently the ability to search for that number of days first, other than just disabled. Does that mean we're going to have a heck of a lot more vouchers on the street for some reason?
I don't believe so. We have an influx of requests right now. Yes. And from individuals who are not of disabled households. And so as the market is changing, it's becoming more difficult for our families to lease up. We try to extend this option to all of our customers. So I don't believe it will result in unused vouchers. I believe it will have the opposite effect.
How many people are losing vouchers because they haven't been able to find?
Because they haven't been able to. We have an 80%. So we have an 80% success rate of our families who are picking vouchers who successfully insured.
What's the average time it takes?
The average time is between 60 and 90 days. I can give you a more exact breakdown.
Has that been getting longer?
Yes.
So, can we go back for a moment, if I could, to the question raised about the income requirements for the home purchase part of the housing choice voucher program? And while we raised it to $40,000, that's fine. I mean, I think the reality is that in today's housing market, that minimum requirement is not going to create many homeowners who participate in the program because they don't have the financial wherewithal. I mean, to get into homeownership, once that's sustaining, one of the things that's always been, we work with a number of programs that provided down payment assistance and all the kinds of things for homeownership. And the retention rate for some families depend because they don't have the flexibility in revenue to meet major items that come up in the course of homeownership. And so they find themselves right back where they started. So I think the minimum requirement is also important because it relates to the value of the voucher. Okay, and we may find from our experience, we may need to go back to HUD and through our NIWA or other groups to really advocate for more value in terms of being allowed for home ownership through the voucher, or even increasing the amount of voucher assistance available to assist the households who are really seriously have raised their income to a level where they can participate and still have that barrier.
I'd just like to follow through on that issue as well, going to the 40,000. As a professional realtor that specializes in first-time buyers and people with disabilities, arbitrary numbers, and I have a problem with NPDUs doing the same thing. There are so many varied resources now between the state loan programs and the county's programs for down payment assistance and so forth, that it is possible, if you really work hard at the numbers, to get people in and keep them. And I just find numbers to be difficult because there are workarounds. And I hate to see that be a hard and fast number. I personally feel that there should be more flexibility. Someone may have proceeds from litigation, an auto accident or something, and have a substantial down payment, then they don't need that. But there are those buyers that, with hard work and real attention to detail and education and support, and budgeting and all of that, that they can get in and stay. And so I just would caution us doing setting hard and fast numbers that we can't deviate from.
And I think this is where financial literacy comes in for some of the participants. It's really makes sense. Jennifer just shared with me, oh, 40,000 income, for one household person is 40% of the area median income. But I would add to that, that the homeownership program that Mortgage Finance runs comes with quite a few down payment assistance program that can be joined together, to your point. In fact, the latest funding from the county, the 1.5 million that we received, allows for $25,000, up to $25,000 of down payment assistance, right? So that's pretty significant. And then there are others that can be layered on top of that. There are no exclusions from those if you receive the 25,000. And so there are opportunities if folks do the right things and have a voucher can be coupled together with the right kinds of work that they put in to become homeowners. So this $40,000, it's not a deterrent necessarily. It could be a challenge depending on family size and things like that. But
I just hate to see placing those that might not need to be there.
Is that number our own policy or is it based on private?
40,000.
That's 40,000.
No, I'm disagreeing, and I think it does depend, sort of as Jack was saying, like, you know, what is the loan payment, how much does that cover?
What's your debt?
Yeah.
I think that we're always concerned about when they're comparing the group. But I guess if you can't qualify for the loan, you're not gonna get it.
Right.
So why do you have to go up to an arbitrary $40,000? If in fact, let's assume somebody had $25,000 and they don't qualify for the loan. I guess what I'm saying is I'm not sure I understand the reason for why we are increasing this to 25/40 to get to Jackie's point. And have what's our default rate for the current program, which is at 25?
Yeah.
We don't have it.
I'm sorry?
What is our default rate?
Zero, to my knowledge.
So if we have zero defaults, which means we're probably doing a lot of counseling and a lot of help with additional resources, then why do we have to increase the performance? That's the question I think that is on the table.
Well, one possible result from that would be the fact that those who have families with a higher income, they've got a better chance perhaps of ultimately ended up as homeowners. I mean, there's a lot of engineering you have to do in order to get a $25,000 family qualified to participate in the homeownership program from the standpoint of actually getting finance to be able to do it. So I just think, I understand the reasons why, I understand the question being asked. It's really trying to see if there's a way to provide perhaps an increase in the amount. Because right now, a person who has $40,000 or $80,000 is not precluded, okay, from participating in the program. All we're simply saying is that you've got to create a minimum floor. So if you're going to play in this arena, you got at least $40,000 to do it. That's what they're saying.
But if we said 20, like the floor is 25 and we don't have any defaults.
How many people do we have in the program?
25.
There's 25, there are 12 currently.
12. Okay.
Do we want to, well, we don't have a motion on the floor yet. We could amend the motion to just adjust that piece.
Part of the question is, does the requirement that they qualify for a loan serve as a natural, limit? And I don't know if the issue of setting a minimum, whether, to which point is whether it's necessary. But I don't know, like, is there a staff component here? Is it that if, people who are not going to qualify for anything, taking up staff time, going through the program, or, I don't know enough how the program works to say whether, the natural barrier of having to qualify for a loan should suffice, or whether it's saying, where staff is having to spend too much time on folks who are not going to get them qualified because of based on that.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, one of the things that I think maybe we ought to be looking at is trying to model the CDO program as far as the student loan and the forgiveness, or the ability to fold student loan into the mortgage at the mortgage interest rate rather than the student loan that they're paying, they can get up to $40,000 waived. But if you're not having that $30,000 student loan that you're paying at student loan rates, then your qualification, your income is going to go harder. And I just think maybe there are some other things we could be doing to work at trying to broaden our programs to take on some of those ideas as well, to allow people to carry the burden. I'd much rather see vouchers being used for the stability of home ownership than rental, and making landlords the beneficiary if they are qualified and stable families that are ready for home ownership. So it seems to me anything we can do to modify and expand our programs, and that may mean that the source of the monies that we're getting from county or wherever, we have to go and say, let's look at this program and see if we can't find a way to make it more available to more families rather than add more barriers, which is what I see this is doing.
I gotta say, in a county that has a high percentage of rentals, as Montgomery County does, we should not be reducing the availability of rental assistance. I mean, I understand your point in terms of trying to help homeowners, but we've got a slew of programs out that in fact are targeting homeowners. And I think that the rental situation in Montgomery County is almost quite mode, particularly for low income folks. So for us to talk about having this increase the number of programs and dollars that we have on ownership and take it away from rental assistance is, in my estimation,
My hope would be it would become an either or, because
But it doesn't do that. I mean, I don't think it doesn't take away the fund for, because what it is the individual. The individual already in the program.
I'm talking about her suggestion about increasing the number of them.
Oh.
I realize it's not taking away. I would also, if I can, just say, if we approve it, then I think we ought, or whether we approve it or delete it, I think the staff should go back and look at the home ownership program and come back to us with some recommendations in terms of things we ought to do, if any, in terms of the entire program. We haven't really talked about the program in any detail with the commission. We don't know what the record of the program has been and what the ups and downs, what we might do to change it, make it better. Or so either way we go, I would suggest that that's a task
I know you need more cash at home, and that's one that would be useful to look at.
Chair Priest, it sounds to me as if there's enough question about this one item amongst many changes to raise that dollar amount for qualifying. And it also sounds like there are programmatic changes on HUD's part that are going on in this program right now, that I would like to suggest an amended motion that I would like to move for Resolution 22-56 with the exception that we not change the qualifying dollar amount for this one program in order to be able to adopt the other changes, and ask that staff bring us back information about HUD's changes and our program experience so that we could consider that one item at a later meeting.
On that point, I'm gonna go back to a point of clarification. I thought I heard Kay Reed making was that these were updates of practices we're already doing. So we're already using the $40,000 number. This is just to be catching up our own admin plan with what we've been doing. Which is it?
Yeah, thank you for that, because that's what I was gonna ask next. I thought I heard you said we're catching up and applying edits. So this 25,000 was not like a concrete number, that you were using something higher. Is that true, Jennifer? Can you repeat that, Jennifer? I'm sorry. No problem. Thank you.
Okay. So the program had been using 40,000. So I think we're not. It's not a major change. We're just correcting, qualifying what we're doing to changing the admin plan. Okay. So I think so. I think that's that question. So we have to modify the amendment, right? To add an amendment to the resolution. Okay. It's not necessary.
But shouldn't that have come before the commission before it was implemented?
Maybe they should have, but the fact that the program has been operating, I don't know how long at that level. So, yeah, maybe we should have, but it did. So right now, what we're just trying to do is play catch up. So with that, can we get a motion to approve resolution 22-56?
Commissioner Byrd, I move approval of resolution 22-56.
Do I have a second?
I second.
And then probably moving second to approve resolution 22-56. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Those who
Abstain.
And one abstention. Thank you. Thank you very much for the discussion. And I do want to support the idea that we probably should take an overall look at some point in time now, overall, from one program approach. Because I know that if you look at the housing choice vouchers used nationally as a home ownership model, it has not been very successful.
Thank you.
Okay, next item is budget selection audit committee. Chair Nelson.
And my name is Carlos Taylor, Chief Technology Officer in the agency. And take opportunity here. So, to introduce the organization here. Here today to request commission approval to amend state resolution number 02113 to provide for administrative extensions and renewals to the Yardi financial and property management system in accordance with section 16.2 of the procurement policy. Yardi is a cloud-based application that HOC uses for financial and property management, as well as a primary system of record for customer-related information. It's designed to manage a variety of properties. It's designed to manage a variety of property types and financial processes. Is used by staff within nearly every division and department and is integral to HOC operations. On December 11, 2002, HOC passed Resolution 02-113, approval of the financial software acquisition to authorize the purchase and implementation of the software converting utilizing Yardi for financial and property management. The Yardi contract is considered a core contract and is governed by provisions of Appendix 4 and Section 16 of procurement policy. Although the authorizing resolution met the requirements of Section 16.1, it did not expressly authorize rules and therefore fails to meet the requirements of Section 16.2. Staff recommends that the Commission adopt amendment and reinstatement of Resolution 02-113 to provide for administrative extensions and renewals to the Yardi financial property management system in accordance with Section 16.2 of the procurement policy.
Budget Finance Administration Committee met and had a discussion on this item. It has concurred in the staff recommendation to amend Resolution 02-113. And as a result of that, I would move approval of Resolution 22-57. Is there a second?
I second.
It's been already moved and seconded. Are there any discussion? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion for the approval Resolution 22-57 approved unanimously. Thank you. Next item. Next item is a request for additional services under the professional auditing services contract. And are you taking this item?
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Commissioners, everyone. On December 8, 2021, the Commission awarded to Clifton Larson Allen LLP the primary auditing services in accordance with the RFP issued on March 8, 2021. The RFP included a request for rates for additional professional services not explicitly outlined in the RFP, and the CLA's contract includes this option. HOC requires additional professional service in connection with the implementation of GASB Statement Number 87, which is related to long-term lease contracts, which will become effective fiscal year 2022 reporting. The Governmental Accounting Standards Board, or GASB, is a private sector organization that establishes accounting and financial reporting standards for state and local governments that follow generally accepted accounting principles. The purpose of GASB 87 is to increase the usefulness of government's financial statements. It requires reporting of certain lease assets and lease liabilities that are currently not reported in the financial statements. The staff is recommending the Commission's approval of the additional services under the professional auditing service contract with CLA to include the GASB 87 solution for an amount not to exceed $73,500. The Budget, Finance, and Audit Committee reviewed informally this request at its meeting on June 29, 2022, and supports the staff recommendation.
We had an extensive discussion on this, and GASB is the bane of a lot of people's existence. Unfortunately, GASB is something that we all have to follow, but it's an unfunded mandate, and most of what GASB comes up with ends up costing organizations like ours money. And there's very little that we can do about it. The one question I would have, though, is that the amount that you're requesting approval for is up to a minimum, and it's based primarily on the number of leases that are covered by this GASB. And it's my understanding that the original estimate we have
has proven to be an eye, so we're probably going to be spending hopefully considerably less meetings. But in the attempt to be sure we've got everything covered, we're looking for the full amount of 73. But it probably will be considerably less. Is that correct?
That is.
That being the case, I would move approval of resolution 22-51.
You have a second? Second. It's been probably moved and seconded to approve resolution 22-58. Are there any questions, discussion? Not all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. So ordered, approved unanimously. Next item for Development and Finance Committee, chaired by Commissioner Simon.
The first agenda item is to approve a new participating lender in our single family mortgage purchase program. Jennifer, thank you.
Good afternoon, commissioners. Jennifer Arrington, this is the acting director of mortgage finance, and Paulette Dudley will present this item for you.
Yes, good afternoon, Commission. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Very good, very good. Thank you. For the record, I'm Paulette Dudley, Program Specialist for the Single Family Mortgage Purchase Program. And this will be a quick one. You can move to the next slide, please. Okay. So what we are doing here for the single family lending, we are seeking the approval of Celebrity Home Loans, LLC, as a new participating lender with the single family mortgage purchase program. The commission has approved continuous participation of lenders from program to program and an ongoing admission of new lenders to the mortgage purchase program. As lenders apply for participation, the request is submitted to the commission for approval. The minimum criteria to be a participating lender are the lender is not a mortgage broker and must close in their own name. The lender is approved to do business with Freddie Mac and or Fannie Mae, or the lender is an approved FHA originating lender. And any new lenders that are also required to be approved by US Bank, who is our master servicer for our mortgage-backed securities. Celebrity Home Loans, LLC, has submitted a request to participate in the mortgage purchase program and meets the criteria as stated above for the approval. Celebrity Financial Inc. is the parent company of Celebrity Home Loans, who acquired Apex Home Loans in November of 2021. Apex has been an originating lender for several years with HOC's program and is a top level company with loan officers who have an extensive knowledge of the commissioner's single family programs. The staff is requesting that the commission accept the recommendation, which is to be supported by the Development and Finance Committee, to approve Celebrity Home Loans, LLC for participation in the single family mortgage purchase program. Thank you.
I was essentially just stopping the same letter out of there. Yeah.
Yeah. Would I get a motion to approve resolution 22-59?
So moved.
Second. And probably moving second to approve resolution 22-59. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries unanimously. Next item.
Thank you.
Our next item is HOC approval gateway. And the team, can we bring up another chair?
Commissioners, the record, Mark Zerman, Director of Legislature.
And Vishana Donahue, Project Manager.
We're going to need to put the microphone much closer to you. You speak very softly.
I don't think it was on.
It's better. Good evening. So we're here today to present Wheaton Gateway. Several matters for this, including approved provisions of the pre-development budget and two procurement matters for the architect, civil engineer, and then also authorization to draw and fancy relock to fund the pre-development effort over the next several years for this project. Open up with a little bit of background. So the first three slides, if we can go, yes, that's all. First three slides provide an overview of the project. All of that dates back to 2017 with reorganization of the Lindsay family and their holdings for the Lindsay Ford dealership located at 11250 Bears Mill Road in Wheaton. The development effort encompasses several parcels. If you're looking at the screen, highlighted in red to the west of Bears Mill is the larger Lindsay Ford dealership. One corner parcel. And then on the east side of Bears Mill Road, there's another portion which is not part of this development effort, known as Bears Mill East. And then at the corner is the former Ambassador Motel, which was jointly owned by HOC and Wilco, his development partner, the condominium portion. And then they also own the corner piece that was formerly the mattress firm warehouse. We'll go to next slide. This just gives a little bit of a regional context in terms of where this project is located as part of the broader Wheaton effort. If we start from the outside on the periphery, you'll see that the project is located anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes to various points throughout Montgomery County, including Olney, Rockville, Bethesda, also Georgia Avenue area where the Wheaton Metro Station is located. And then within the radius or nexus of the project, we've got various points of interest, including Albert Einstein High School, shopping in Westwood, dining down by the county facility. Also, future building scientists as we go through the education component of the development. Go to the next slide, where the schedule is located, sort of summarizes the efforts of the development team. Once again, 2017, Lindsay with the sort of relocation and reorganization of assets. 2019 through 2021 was largely formation of the venture parties, which include HOC, WPS Ventures, also Wilco. And then there were also some design efforts when we presented the concept plan to the commission. And then most recently was approval of the sketch plan by the county, which we'll be presenting this evening as part of that. We can go to the next slide. So I'll preface the next three slides, which are really an educational component of the sustainability piece, which is one of the cornerstones of this development, Hillendale Gateway, and a lot of what you've listed in this pipeline. Really at the center of sustainability. How we achieve that, if you look at this as a triple bottom line with people, planet, profit, right in the middle there is sustainability. So there'll be a lot of components discussed this evening, including Passive House, which is part of getting us to net zero. We've also got Energy Star, and then LEED, which stands for Leadership Energy Efficient Design. All of this is to align with the county's master plan goals for more sustainable buildings, also assist the HOC in future operations of these properties, and also for the residents, most importantly, in reducing their energy usage and getting us to carbon. So the slide after that gives you a little bit more information about Passive House Theus, which is what we're going for at Hillendale Gateway, and then also aligning with the county's climate action plan. We go 2 slides. Yeah, right on that slide. But pivot over to Dejana to walk us through the various site components. There's 2 sections, a couple different buildings, and we'll go into some of the concept aspects of stuff.
Yes, so here you are looking at the overall development plan. The development consists of 2 phases. The overall intent is a mixed use and mixed income project for 770 units. The goal is to have 30% affordability for each section. As you can see, phase 1 has 2 sections, section 1 and 2, identified in their respective colors. And to reiterate Marcus's point, we are targeting specific sustainability goals for the project to address a lot of the operations and the county goals as well. For phase 2, we have 350 units, and there's also a commercial component for 25,000 commercial square footage. Overall, we discussed the history of this development and the various stakeholders involved. With the combination of that includes Duffy, Grass Mills West Properties, HOC, and Wilco's Ambassador Properties and Wilco's Mattress Firm Property, allow for an impactful redevelopment program that would incorporate a mix of uses, including high quality, mixed income multifamily housing, a community use urban park, which we discussed the importance of those earlier in this meeting, to provide needed passive open space, and a curated selection of retail and commercial uses. We also wanted to emphasize that this redevelopment budget is representative of the entitlement of phases 1 and 2, here outlined in this appropriate sections that I went over earlier, and that the design and construction documentation services are only for phase 1, and that includes sections 1 and 2. Next. So these next few slides that you will see show the various mappings of those each building in section 1, 2, and 3. This overall view here is taken from the corner of East Avenue, University Boulevard, showing the various scale of each building respectively, and associating those unit allocation in addition to the height of those respective sections. Next. This is another view here. Marcus spoke earlier about proximity to transit. We have also identified the various bus stop locations in close proximity, 2 along University Boulevard and 1 along Fayersville Road, in addition to the metro stop, which is a little less than half a mile, approximately a 10-minute walk from the site itself. Next slide. This is a site circulation to help ground you a little bit further in the ingress and egress access on the site. As proposed, there are primary circulation vehicular focus here off of Fayersville Road, in addition to secondary and tertiary ingress and egress from East Avenue and University Boulevard. This also includes circulation that traverses the parcels as well. Next slide. This is a floor plan of that similar view that we just looked at. Here we have identified the main entrances of those respective sections, and also are emphasizing the ground floor activity of each of those spaces. We do want to ensure and energize that space. So with that, we have the commercial square footage that we spoke about for section 1 and 3, in addition to amenity ground floor space and the artist lofts. The artist lofts are the idea of a live work space that would further allow for that activation on the ground level. Next slide. These are further close-up views of those massing elements. Here we have phase 1, section 1. Again, with the color coding allowing you to see the diverse uses on the ground floor, with retail space, amenity space, and the artist lounge as mentioned, with the residential units above those, and the verticality of the building core elements also identified.
We also just preface for the viewing public that a lot of what you're seeing in the next several images are, this is in a program called SketchUp, so it's very conceptual at this level. So it's foxy with the idea to give you an idea of massing as it relates to the broader site. So you see some sort of shadows of how it looks at the street, and also just to help with block diagrams. So as we go further into selecting the team, we'll more define those spaces to show balconies, to show windows. So the colors don't denote the final product, but rather just to give a point in time. So we just want to make that clear.
Yes.
I mean, we're not gonna get Robin's Egg blue building.
Marcus, that's a great point, and I also want to add on to that in regards to what we're seeing here with these mass institute, with the fundamental notion of them being conceptual, there are also blank walls, and so we don't want you also to interpret that as being as is, and they will be designed to reflect the community essence and the examples of the project. Next slide. Here we have the view of phase one, section 2. This is a view along the corner of Kensington Boulevard and East Avenue. We have noted that there are topographical changes along this current intersection, and so site accessibility will be continue to be explored for this building. Next slide. We have that same section 2, but this is a before photo. Next slide. And the essence of that before photo is to iterate the sensitivity to scale. Here we have an existing residential neighborhood. We want to be respectful of that scale in essence, and that setback then allows for a greater density of the leasing for section 2. Next slide. Phase 2, section 3. Here is a much larger building than we saw for section 2, and it's similar to what we showed for the other high-rise building, which was in phase 1, section 1. This is showing the ground floor elements and the residential units above, as well as that connection here. You can see the road in which the vehicular traffic would have access and transfers across that we had shown in the previous slide. Next slide. And now we're pivoting to the construction technologies comparison. This slide we thought was significant to address in regards to construction technologies and the innovation in construction technologies as well. To start off, we wanted to acknowledge the use of stick frame, in which we have used on various buildings, and the highlights of them being a lower carbon footprint, the ease of labor and cost. But then there's also significant drawbacks in regards to the height capacity, limited in regards to high rise. And so with that, we're going to be able to use this construction technology for the proposed heights we have identified for the phases. And then another limit to stick frame is the overall use with wood and the damage in regards to its longevity. It's more susceptible to mold, rot, and mildew. For mass timber, we have a similar use in wood technology, but this is a much more innovative technology. This has been recently adopted in Montgomery County in 2021. This building technology has allowed for engineering that does allow for high-rise construction that could accommodate the scale in which the gateway development is proposing, in addition to the low carbon footprint and the aesthetic quality that mass timber allows as well. That compared to midweight steel, also known as prescient, which has been historically more affordable than concrete, although with the market changes, we are seeing some changes with that. Also, the ability with BIM and class detection for various building systems, that has been helpful. Midweight steel is also less susceptible to water damage and has also non-combustible, which is great for high-rise construction. And then lastly, concrete, to round out the construction technology comparison. This is extremely durable, as many of you may be more familiar with this construction type, less susceptible to water, and rot. The downfall with concrete is its high-embodied energy. The use of formwork with concrete as well also contributes to that. But in contrast, it does have non-combustible elements for the high-rise construction. We did want to outline here that these construction technologies don't necessarily cost more than the other. Here we are going to pivot to the procurement elements for Wheaton Gateway, but we wanted to state that the architect would advise us and explore these various construction technologies to determine the appropriate path forward. Next slide.
So we've not committed in any way yet to one of these yet.
With that, this is the selection of the architect. HOC's procurement office issued a request for proposal, RFP 2311 for architectural services for Wheaton Gateway in accordance with HOC's procurement policy. This RFP was issued on February 23rd, 2022, with a due date of April 8th, 2022. The RFP was posted to HOC's website and distributed to more than 50 vendors registered in the Montgomery County Central Vendor Registration System, also known as CVRS. The applicable vendors receive a notification via the system that there is a solicitation for their review and potential response. A pre-proposal meeting and conference was held virtually on March 4th, 2022. 12 firms attended the pre-bid conference. However, we do want to note here that the pre-bid conference does not reveal whether a firm intends to submit a response to the RFP. The scope of work outlined in RFP 2311 included 6 months of site plan preparation, 9 months of entitlement-based services, 6 months of construction document preparation, a permitting phase, followed by construction-based services and construction administration and construction optimization. The scoring team received written instructions prior to scoring and currently consists of staff from risk management, asset management, and real estate divisions, as well as deputy and local representatives, comprising together the architectural scoring team, who reviewed the responses on May 25th, 2022. After corresponding with some of the firms in attendance at the pre-bid conference, they stated that due to lack of capacity, they did not respond to the solicitation. This is also something that we have seen more recently with firms being busy or not having capacity to respond to solicitations. The proposals were scored with the following 4 criteria, with a maximum points a proposal could receive being 100. The first criteria of qualifications have a maximum of 50 points. Within that are subcategories of 4 different elements: high-rise mixed use and residential. Number 2, achieving energy standards. 3, high performance construction standards and certifications. 4, light tech experience in the state of Maryland. Additional MFB participation, we will review this in the next slide in further depth. However, this goes above the 25% minimum that procurement has set as a requirement. And this allows for a maximum of 50 points. There are 2 separate elements that comprise of those 50 points. References to 5 maximum points for that were checked and evaluated with the following criteria for performance, for on-time completion and change order management. And then price for a maximum of 30 points here. There are specific percentage points that dictate how the respondent receive and how those points are allocated. This also was in prior RFPs for Hillendale and has been in response to the market changes that we are seeing and wanting to allow for competitive pricing. Next slide. This is the additional MFT participation that we addressed in the previous slide. Here, there are 2 separate elements that comprise of the 15 points. The first being direct MFT efforts for a total of 5 points. A respondent is eligible to receive these points after they display a commitment to directly employ and train minority, female, or disabled persons, propose a staffing plan with MFT personnel on the project, or are certified MFT firms, and as a result would receive the full points. These various elements were proposed with the intent to provide other numerous options for the consultants to proactively engage MFT personnel. And with the second element, MFD subcontracting, that comprises of 10 points. Here we have the tables below to show you how those points would be allocated based on how the respondent proposed in their proposal. The first being per the direction from former executive leadership, procurement requires a minimum 25% MFD subcontracting, which would equal 0 points. Greater than 25% to 29% MFD subcontracting is awarded 6 points, and then 30% or higher MFD subcontracting receives the full 10 points. Next slide. This slide identifies the bidders that responded to the proposal. HOC received 3 proposals in response to RFP 2311 by the proposal deadline on April 8th, 2022 at 12 p.m. And they are listed here. 1 respondent was deemed non-responsive as their proposal did not include the full scope identified in the RFP. The first respondent is KGB Architecture, also known as KGB. KGB is an award-winning full-service design firm headquartered in Washington, D.C. With offices around the world. KGB has received accolades for design excellence and environmental stewardship for its work addressing the pressing needs of our communities, including but not limited to affordable housing, mixed use, multifamily residential, and sustainable design. KGB has experience on the following HOC projects: Elizabeth House 3 and House. Moya Design Partners, also known as Moya. Moya Design Partners is a multidisciplinary boutique studio producing creative work in the fields of architecture, interiors, and visual design. The firm was founded 5 years ago by designer Paolo Moya. Moya is currently designing and developing over 1,500 units in Maryland, Virginia, Pennsylvania, Durham, and DC. Their mission is to provide high-quality, inclusive, accessible housing to all levels of affordability, including experience navigating complex design processes. Here, in contrast to what we described for KGB, Moya does not have experience working with HOC on any projects. Torti Gallis and Partners, also known as Torti Gallis, founded in 1953. The firm has continued to evolve. Today, Torti Gallis and Partners is a leading proponent of new urbanism, a powerful force in the creation of environmentally, economically, and socially sustainable communities. Torti Gallis is dedicated to designing quality, affordable housing communities. In total, they have designed over 40,000 affordable and workforce housing units in neighborhoods and communities throughout the country. Torti Gallis has experience on the following HOC projects: Hillendale Gateway, residences on the Lane, formerly Upton 2, and Metro Point. Next slide. The scoring committee met, and after assessing the criteria for qualifications and scoring, Torti Gallis received the highest score at 93 points. The scores below reflect the average of the individual scores from each member of the architectural scoring team. The results of the scoring team are summarized. For the first criteria, qualifications, Torti Gallis' proposal included predominantly high-rise new construction, mixed use, and residential projects within the area, with energy goals beyond code, including passive house certification, which is a significant goal for the project, which resulted in the highest score. KGB was the only other respondent with a similar level of experience. Moya did not demonstrate in their proposal the sufficient completion or experience of high-rise and mixed-use projects. As a result, they received the lowest points in this category to reflect that lack of experience as it pertains to those building types. The second category, references, all of the respondents here scored highly in this category. HOC has experience with Torti Gallis on Hillendale Gateway, residences on the Lane, formerly Upton 2, and Metro Point, as previously mentioned on the next slide. The references spoke highly of Torti Gallis in regards to the specified criteria outlined in the RFP for on-time completion, change order history, and quality assurance control. KGD has experience with HOC projects listed House 3 and Alexander House, and also received high references for the specified criteria for references evaluation. And Moya received a good reference based on the specified criteria. However, as mentioned, they have no prior experience on HOC projects. Next slide. So actually, can we go back one slide, please? So here on the next slide, we're going to address the additional MFD participation and the price scoring that couldn't fit on the slide here, and didn't want you to think that we were moving on. Next slide. Okay. So the additional MFD participation that we have outlines the two components that we have for additional MFD, which include the first direct MFD efforts and the second MFD subcontract. All firms received full points for additional MFD efforts that were part of the criteria outlined in the RFP, which included KGD and Moyer for a certified MFD firm, and then Torty Gallus for 40% MFD personnel on staffing plan, and the demonstrated commitment to directly employ MFD personnel. The MFD subcontracting plan, also for KGD and Moya as certified MFD firms, they were self-performing a significant portion of the work, 75% and 70% respectively, and then Torty Gallus subcontracting 70%. The table here shows the MFD contracting amount per their percentages as that compares to their overall price. Here we have Torty Gallus has demonstrated the capability to perform the architectural services for Wheaton Gateway and has provided comprehensive pricing in their proposal reflective of the full scope of the project for Wheaton Gateway. As a result, their pricing was deemed the lowest bid, and staff proposes Torty Gallus for $4,248,618. For the pricing as well, we wanted to note, and we said this earlier, that Moya was deemed non-responsive, as they did not identify and quantify the passive house services, which are integral to the overall project goals. After the scoring committee evaluated their score, they were ranked second, despite them having the lowest score and the lowest bid. They were still 11 points behind Torty Gallus. We also wanted to emphasize that Moya was founded 5 years ago, and their proposal did not demonstrate the sufficient experience for a high-rise mixed-use construction project of this volume. And as a result, they do not have the expertise to sufficiently provide architectural services for Wheaton Gateway. To further go into the passive house component for Wheaton Gateway, Moya initial proposal did not include the passive house consulting. They were notified to clarify in regards to that component and still did not. And that also contributed to them being non-responsive. Next slide, please. Okay. We are moving to the selection of civil. HOC procurement issued a request for proposal, RP 2321, for civil engineering services for Wheaton Gateway in accordance with HOC's procurement policy. This RP was issued on April 13th, 2022, with a due date of May 18th, 2022, similar to the prior procurement solicitation. This was also distributed on HOC's website and to more than 300 vendors registered in the CBRS. Vendors were notified who were applicable to respond, and a pre-proposal meeting and conference was held virtually on April 20th, 2022. 4 firms attended the pre-bid conference. Again, we are reiterating that the pre-bid conference, however, does not reveal whether a firm intends to submit a response to the RFP. The civil scope of work also had a similar timeline in regards to phasing. So 6 as the architectural services, 6 months of site plan preparation, 9 months of 10 months phase services, construction phase services, and construction administration phase services. HOC received 1 responsive proposal in response to RP 2321 by the proposal deadline on May 18, 2022. In accordance with HOC procurement policy, after consulting with procurement, the minimum requirements were evaluated to bring forth the recommendation for civil engineering services. The scoring team similarly received written instructions prior to receiving and scoring the proposal. After corresponding with the firms in attendance at the pre-bid conference, this was also something we did for the architectural services procurement solicitation. They stated that due to a lack of capacity, they did not respond to the solicitation. Here we have identified the minimum requirements. These are the high-rise residential, mixed-use projects, light tech experience, and within the RFP, respondents were asked to demonstrate experience to show satisfactory evidence and completion of projects of similar scope. Third-party certifications, this is certifications above code minimum standards. References, which outline the evaluation criteria for work of multifamily residential, mixed-use construction in Montgomery County, and the Baltimore-Washington metropolitan area, and then MFD participation, which had a similar outline as that in the architectural RFP. Next slide, please. HOC received one responsive proposal to RFP 2321 by the proposal deadline on May 18, 2022 at 12 p.m. and it is listed below. Charles P. Johnson and Associates, also known as CPJ. CPJ is a full-service civil engineering firm that has provided quality engineering, land planning, surveying, and landscape architecture services to both the public and private sector since 1971. They are comprised of approximately 96 talented employees, including licensed engineers, registered landscape architects, and professional surveyors. CPJ is a corporation organized under the state of Maryland and is headquartered in Silver Spring, Maryland. CPJ is currently working with HOC on Hillendale Gateway, which is also a high-performance mixed-use residential and light project. In regards to the minimum criteria evaluation for this solicitation, Hillendale addresses all of these elements in regards to high-rise, mixed-use, light tech, and third-party certification beyond code with the very strong sustainability and energy goals, which also align with the county as well. They also received great references in addition to their work on Hillendale and their MFD participation. Their CPJ subcontracting plan included 32% MFD participation. We also wanted to note that not merely meeting the minimum requirements for RP 2321, CPJ has also exceeded these requirements, not only with their work on Hillendale Gateway, but also with the projects they have included within their proposal and demonstrated the ability to provide civil engineering services for Wheaton Gateway. As a result, staff is confident in their services and proposes the selection of CPJ to provide civil engineering services at Wheaton Gateway for $1,476,121. Next slide.
So as we sort of round out the end, I know there was a lot of information to digest. Really, the last 4 slides kind of walk us through the timeline and then ultimately what is the ask as a relock for the effort. The total redevelopment budget is roughly $19.8 million, as identified on slide 30 of the presentation. Slide 28. Of that 19.8, we're looking at it from the team perspective, what was spent over from present day 2022 through potential financial close in 2025. So of that, there's 2 buckets, essentially to entitle the entire project, and then also for the permitting first 2 sections that they kind of walk through on the overall site plan. So the pre-development budget also includes a contingency, also financing fees when we get to that point. So we recognize what we like. I'm sorry.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we got 2 resolutions here. One here is the approval of the architect and engineer And the second was with the people on the food development budget. Could we go ahead and take the approval action on the first one, 2268, we will go to the next one? Yes.
I move approval of, the selection of the architectural firm recommended.
Have a second?
I'll second it.
Since I'm moving second to approve, then we can turn to that 68. Any question? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. So ordered.
Please. All right, but the second question for approval to utilize the relock for the pre-development budget, approval of the pre-development budget. The total is noted here on slide 28 is approximately 19.8 million. Of that, there's about two buckets, one which is roughly 10.2 million for the full entitlement of the site, and the other component, roughly 9.6 million for phase one, construction documenting and permitting. I think what I'll do is I'll pass through slide 30 to show the timeline and reconcile that with the pre-development spend. Where we are today, once again, we've received sketch plan approval. We will return to the commission to provide some design updates, but really it will be heads down with the design team that's been selected, work with the various elements, refine the site plan, and come back to you with something more substantive. So you see in the materials, we also included just a comparison of Wheaton Gateway to Hillsborough Gateway. Obviously, with Wheaton, there are more buildings. While there's two phases, it is a comparatively larger site in terms of uses, overall square footage, hence the pre-development not different. But this is really a point in time reference to try to give some context. So with that said, for the budget aspects, issues for consideration on this piece would be approval of the calendar year 22 through 25 pre-development budget in an amount of 19,898,188.60, which shall be funded from the PNC Bank real estate line of credit. And the second component of approval of the loan in that amount to Wheaton Gateway LLC, according to the terms of joint venture agreement to fund the ongoing pre-development costs for Wheaton Venture, which include the two buckets we discussed for full entitlement of the site and phase one construction documents. Question.
Can I get a motion to approve budget 22-60B?
So move.
Move the second to approve budget 22-60B. Are there any questions? Seeing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. So ordered. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I would just like to thank the staff for the included in the presentation slides and the way we're being more graphic with them. It was easier for me to understand, and perhaps members of the general public that are seeing these. And also for the clarification of the difference between the number of persons from whose solicitations were solicited and the responses we got and the follow-up as to why there was such a large difference. I think I appreciate the firms being candid, but without having checked, we wouldn't know whether they were just avoiding being where they didn't want to go to the trouble or whatever it was. So that kind of follow-up, I think, is useful to us to be sure that the RFPs we're putting on the street are manageable to respond to, and what we are covering the universe of potential candidates, and the other hand, not burdening the evaluation team with useless proposals. So I think this process is improving every time we develop a proposal, and thank you for it.
I want to just a couple of points I want to make, if I could. These are speaking from as a commissioner, not on behalf of the commission, okay? And one of them deals with this funding certainly demonstrates the lifeline of our development projects, 2017. Okay, and we are expecting this one to go through at least 2025, 8 years. All right. I appreciate the thoroughness of your presentations, but I don't want to have to hear all the detail every time you make a presentation on the project. I mean, it tedious. And we've seen this slide at least, I know I've seen this slide at least 5 times. And I appreciate it, Mark. It's excellent work, thorough staff work, but how much we need was into the commission. Now, I think the commission needs to talk about that with staff, about the number of certifications we need to have in order to take action, okay?
I can promise you that we'll work on brevity and make it more graphic.
Oh, it's not brevity, it's just, you know, let's just talk about how much we really need to really present to us to get a certain action, because we need to go over each time the same background on this project until unless we are at a different point where we are and things like that. I mean, just and of course we have new commissioners maybe coming on, so they don't know that the old commissioners know, and so we would figure out how to deal with all those kinds of things. But overall, if we could find a more truncated way to do this, it would certainly be helpful. It's to staff and to commissioners as well, and to you all. This is a lot of material presented to us each time for us to take an action on this. So it's going to raise that. The other thing I wanted to, this is really more of a question of curiosity. See, I've been around a long time, and all this stuff about sustainability packages and all those kind of things, well, that wasn't me. Nobody was talking about that in 1970, 1980, okay, 1990. And I just kind of wonder professionally, how much can we add into project development costs by all of these things someone going to do? Someone going to have strong go into the environmentally strong, that climate sensitive, and also we expect some requirements on trying to build a building today. So, you know, we're going to do something to know where.
Yes, but the county is demanding more and more climate accountability audits. They've set up a department and now insist on every piece of legislation getting an ARL report and an equity report. And I think we need to understand what those requirements are, and we certainly need to comply with them. And beyond that, this is a public agency, and we're doing public business in public. And I really feel that this information in these slides help the public who is interested understand that we take our responsibilities very seriously, and that our staff is exceedingly competent. And having this kind of information, I admit a 500-page packet can be tedious, but on the other hand, I think there are many benefits to it. And I think if you just look at the number of bills that the council introduced this week on climate, energy, lactation rooms, in buildings, and so forth, I don't think we can't be asking for less because the county is demanding more.
No, I'm not even suggesting that. I mean, my company's not to forget that. Yeah, I'm simply saying, but I was wondering what those bundle of costs. They're going to look for. They're going to pay for all of that, okay? And what we got to do is figure out how do we comply with all the requirements at the same time we take section of providing affordable housing. Okay, at some point in time, we become in a situation where we're not going to be able to create enough public funding to offset all of the other kinds of requirements that they impose on not only us, but everybody who's a developer. And we have got to talk about this. All I'm saying is a full we need to talk about this aggressively. We could be, coming in on the side of writing rules and regulations without sometimes doing the actual direct impact on the user. And that's when we get to a whole bunch of things coming back behind the mark. All you're trying to say is, it really is not where we are. Most things we don't want to do. I totally agree with it, but well,
and I think it supports. But if
it's not there, it's not an overhead. Two things I would say, one on your earlier point, in terms of the face-to-faces. Well, I get your point, I think a way around it, something that we got to work on, is to include with the report, as we have in the past, prior action by the commission, or package by the commission, and maybe even a hyperlink, so that you wouldn't have to do the 20 pages of all the exhibits, but you could in fact include a page that says the exhibits were, and do a hyperlink so people could in fact go to those pages and refer. That would reduce possibly repetition of some of these things. I think on the cost thing, and this is really something that the sex committee should be looking at. I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. The fact is, there is a premium for all this stuff that we in the county and we in the country and everybody wants. They ask the question up front, how much is it going to cost? And they get financial analysis. It doesn't mean a damn thing because nobody really knows until you get into it. And you start getting some of these bids and find out that it costs you in every way. But I think that there is some value in looking at what premium we get paid for it and just presenting that as a matter of fact. This is premium. I mean, by the same token, we in the commission have made the decision that the affordable units that we do should be the same as market rate units. There's a cost to that too. And we have said that that's a cost we're willing to bear because we want to serve our clients well. And we obviously do add costs. And that's why the cost of a unit is a scary thing to look at. When you look at the cost of an individual unit, a new development these things. I mean, I remember when we were talking about $150,000. That's how you get to the front door there. But I think all of those things add up to the cost to produce housing and cost to those houses. Oh.
The point goes to the fact that we are a public agency and use the resources from the public and other sources, finance sources, everything. But as we wouldn't somebody to talk back to the promulgator of requirements about what these things mean and impact the work that you do. I mean, we have this organization like Iowa, Proper and Father and other things we can do. I'm trailer organization as well to advocate because we think we should address. And I don't think we just can't just be citizens and not giving back what our experiences are, how it's impacted positively really affordable housing. That's the highest topic on the discussion going on at affordable housing. All the country. Because of the fact of the exploding cost of we're talking about housing. It's amazing today that I grew up with, and my father paid $20,000 for it, selling for $17,000. Okay, that's ridiculous. It's a shame to pay a house, it's a payment. Okay, so I mean, it's great. I'm sorry.
Marcus, can I ask you just one question, please? I do like the selections that you made for the architects because you did the scoring. That was very understandable. But I don't understand why you only got one for the engineer. CPJ, why did you just put one?
Yeah, as mentioned, we were facing the same issues with just bandwidth and capacity from firms. So as we've gone out for other professional services, we received those responses even in advance of some of the pre-solicitation meetings where they just say you don't have the time and resources.
And CPJ is charging $1,400,000.
Cool. For this.
Chair,
there's a drawing that is inner Frankie over there. I totally agree with, I think the presentations will be so relevant. I think, to me, it's nice, the packet itself, I think is relatively common. I think most of that is in this presentation. There's new, there's new material pages up front that, what's repetitive. I think we can choose to read or not read stuff that we're familiar with. I think it's the, I think the oral presentation probably can be trimmed down a bit. The understanding that we should read the packet. And so, that's what I would probably and then also, I also agree with the chair that, that work from us, used to, I know the chair was suggested that a village should not be sustainable. But I would also just like, some of these incremental costs lead to greater affordability than end up paying for themselves. And so by making a building sustainable, we're paying more upfront, saving in energy costs, maintenance, which is and we're protecting the planet. So
because we're long-term holders of these real estate assets, that's where the benefits as HOC. If we're not building and holding for 5 to 7 years and flipping it, and it becomes somebody else's problem, it is our problem for 50, 60, however long we're holding it. So we're investing now for the long haul.
Yes, the last item on the agenda is the approval and naming and branding in accordance with HOC naming guidelines of what till now has been known and we discussed as Elizabeth House Food. I must admit I have trouble keeping track of some of these names and then changing them and then having to double think. As you refer to them once their name is changed, but the staff has a proposal for us and what committee has looked at it. Would you?
Yes.
Go ahead.
For the record, Mark Zervin, Director of Real Estate, here to present the name for Elizabeth House 3. I will keep this under 2 minutes. Given that you have read the material, I will admit the Development Finance Committee did consider this proposal at the meeting June 24th. By a vote of 2-1 advanced to the commission for approval. However, the committee did caution about naming it after living individuals and those that serve in public office. So while it is a deviation, it's not to set a precedent. With that said, let's go to the first slide. We could probably talk for hours about this individual, and rightfully so. So we wouldn't keep it here. The proposed name for Elizabeth Square 3 EH3, which is under construction, really a high profile mixed income, mixed use, age restricted 767 unit property in downtown Silver Springs, part of the larger Elizabeth Square master plan. Really activates the site, provides high quality housing for our seniors, and fittingly being the name that we recommended is the Leggett. After Isaiah Ike Leggett, this profound figure in Montgomery County government for his focus on seniors, infrastructure, and really shaping the county, and also being one of the first African Americans elected to county council, and also as county executive with a career of over 12 years as county executive. As noted in the presentation, built extraordinary legacy, including accomplishments affecting all lives of vital involvement for adults, diverse background and cultures, which the Leggett will encompass. Got a deviate saying EH3. For formality, the guidelines for naming of HOC property was noted on slide 5, all of which Mr. Leggett represents have strong positive images, stand the test of time. Name should have appropriate regard for facilities location, recognize outstanding accomplishments by an individual, consider the following contribution along with the length of service by that individual. As noted in several of these slides, we've outlined all of his accolades over the years, what he's done, what he's continued to do. And we also want to make mention that he did bless this name. We did seek his approval for it. He did approval of the naming of the building. So with that said, and given a whole host of awards and recognitions that we've identified, does the commission wish to accept staff's recommendation, supported by the Development and Finance Committee, and approve the permanent name of the limit for the Westwood House 3 development?
I move approval of resolution 22-68.
Second.
And seconded to 22-61. Signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Abstentions. Motion carried. With no further business to come before the commission, the commission meeting is now adjourned. We will now continue moving to the Development Corporation, each Development Corporation held its annual meeting on January 2022. We will convene today for the purpose of approving those minutes. I now call the meeting of the Alexander Housing Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Yes, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Motion carries. With no further business to come before the corporation, this meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the Appointments Development Commission to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay. So ordered. With no further business to come before the corporation, this meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the Brookside Land Appointment Development Commission to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Approved. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion passed. With no further business to come before the corporation, this meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the Island Square Development Commission to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay. With no further business to come before the corporation, this meeting is adjourned. And now call the meeting of the Glen Mountain Crossing Development Commission to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. With no further business to come before the corporation, this meeting is adjourned. And now call the meeting of the Glen Mountain Rescue Development Commission to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So, the second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. No further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. And now call the meeting of the Magruder Discovery Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So, second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Nay. Motion carries. There's no further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. And now call the meeting of the Mr. Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. No further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. And now call the meeting of the Montgomery Arms Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? I second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. No further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of Carrington Square Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. There's no further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the Fifth Floor Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. No further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the Rad 6 Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. With no further business to come before the corporation, this meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the State of Site 1 Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. The next order of business is before the proclamation this meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting square site to the eleven deputies to run. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? Is there a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. No further business to come before the proclamation this meeting is adjourned. And now for the meeting of Friday, meetings of regular commission committee. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Is there a second? I second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. There's no further business to come before the declaration. This meeting is adjourned. And now for the meeting of the 221 Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. There's no further business coming before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the PTC one corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Is there a second?
I second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. So ordered. There's no further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the PTC two corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Is there a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. There's no further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the Regional Metro Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. So ordered. There's no further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. I now call the meeting of the Oaks at Fulton Development Corporation to order. Is there a motion to approve the minutes? So moved. Is there a second? Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. There's no further business to come before the corporation. This meeting is adjourned. This concludes the Development Corporation meetings. Such a commission meeting while they're adjourned. This completes today's meeting. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.